Start putting prices on stuff.
That'd take a while. Fury?
Yeah, it's a Fury 1. This is a 79. This is a 67 Barracuda. This is a 70. That's got a 400 big block in it. No Warlock. That's my Ram Charger that I'm restoring. That's from Texas.
And what?
This is a 69 Mercedes-Benz. But it was used as a farm truck.
And
it didn't even have a title. It had a farm paperwork.
On the horizon. Hopefully you guys can see it pretty good on camera. And coming out of the mist on this decent December day, which this is a nice day in December for Michigan. Yeah, this is my kind of place. So this is Tony, and like I said, met him through a chain of friends, and as you can see, he's got a lot of stuff, some of which I'm interested in, including those headers over there. But first off, he also sells a lot of stuff, and actually I'll just put a number up as well, but how would people get in contact with you?
My phone number. Should I give the phone number?
I'll just write it down afterwards, but it'll pop up like about here on the screen.
Oh yeah, okay.
But
yeah, they can call me on the phone. I'm in the Thumb area. Carsonville area, in the Thumb. I retired from Chrysler's in Highland Park as a test mechanic. Anyway, so I'm a Mopar guy. I got mostly trucks right now. I don't have too many cars.
But the cars you do have are very cool.
Yeah, I do. I collect parts like, you know. My son's selling his car over there.
The Fury?
Yeah, it's a Fury 1. It would make an excellent cop car because it's a 4-door.
Probably not with that huge intake stick on the hood, though.
Yeah, well, so the story on this car is, it was this friend of mine's dad's car, brand new, back in '68.
Yeah.
And it sat behind his barn, and he wanted to build a street rod. So he said, Dad, can I have the car back there? And his dad said, yeah, we were gonna probably junk it, you know. So he put the whole drivetrain in this car. It's got about $10,000 in the drivetrain. It's got a 8 3/4 Detroit locker rear end. It's got a B&M trans. It's got a 440 built, and adjustable rockers, blah blah blah. But he's got it's got nitrous.
What?
Yeah. Anyway, so my son bought this truck over here, and this is his new toy. He's gonna build up an engine for this.
You said this is a 70, right?
Yeah, this is a 79. It came from Texas, and they got it one rust hole. And the cool thing is the back bumper has got the name of the Texas dealer.
Oh, does it?
In the bumper, but I guess it's down south they did that.
Because I know, like, at least up around here, they put them in the tailgate. Oh, yeah, look at that.
Yeah, see, right here.
I've got a bumper like this on my 79 Ford, except all it has stamped in is the foundry that made it.
Yeah. So it says so-and-so,
Bill Thomas and oh yeah, in Texas. Man, that is really clean.
Oklahoma, Texas. So you know, he paid quite a bit for it, more than I would have paid, but it's rust free. It's already got all new brakes all the way around, hot wheels, and the guy was having oh, this door don't open.
Oh, where's that rust hole you said was on here?
This don't have a rust hole.
Oh, okay, not a rust hole.
Not a rust hole. You should see underneath this thing, man. We put it up on the hoist. It's clean as a whistle.
You get that with Southern trucks.
The only thing is the fuel tank was messed up, so he went to a fuel cell. But
how big is the cell?
I think it's only 10 gallons. But we had the seat done.
Very nice. And you got a blue dash over there.
Yeah. Well, it was blue. He painted it because it looked like crap, you know, from the sun. And I think he's gonna leave the patina.
I probably would. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, just maybe we'll clear it or something. So he's gonna hop up this motor. It's originally a 360 2-barrel, and so he's gonna put that intake, headers, blah blah blah.
Oh, he's gonna really hop it up because you were. I was told that single plane manifold that's only for high RPM stuff.
Yeah. So he's thinking of changing the cam. He was originally gonna put that drivetrain in this.
The Fury?
Yeah, put the 440 in here and all that.
By the way, what transmission does that Fury have? A 727?
It's got a 727 B&M with a hot torque converter.
What's the B&M stand for?
It's a company that makes race transits.
Oh, okay.
Specializing in 727s. I think it's just called B&M Transmissions.
I think I've heard of them.
Yeah, it's pretty popular.
But on the passenger side on this truck, I saw it had an adventurer badge. What was that?
That was deluxe.
Oh, that was the top of the line you get back then?
Yeah, don't say adventure. That's why it's got a 360. Because most of these were 6-cylinder or 318. So the adventurer made it a 360. Yeah. Yeah.
And now, saving the best for last.
This is a 67 Barracuda with a 273, 3 on the column. Oh, I got the air cleaner off, so I just set this on there.
All right.
So this came from Cincinnati. Pretty rust-free car, and but it had the original 2-barrel 273. So this is a new motor that's been gone through. Runs real good. Took it to Woodward Cruise a few times. You know, it needs an interior. That's anything wrong with this car. It needs an interior. The seats are ripped. The top is okay, but it's got holes in it. But they want a lot of money to do interiors.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like $6,000 for the interior and the top.
Now, just to clarify, the Fury is the only one for sale. This one definitely isn't.
Well, this one would be for sale for around 18 to 20 grand.
Sounds like a good price.
Yeah, you know. If I had the interior done, then it would be primo, and you know. But that's another $6,000. You know.
But I still find it funny because you were telling me before I started recording that you had headers on this and they wouldn't fit.
Yeah, because it's 3 on the column and they only make headers for a 4-speed. So I called the header company and they said, we don't make headers for a 3 on the column. You know, they call it 3 on the tree.
So why couldn't you have just like put one manifold on this side and kept the header on the other?
Well, that wouldn't balance the engine.
Oh.
You gotta have the same on each side that balances it. You know what I mean? That would be like out in the winter having a glove on one hand and no glove on the other hand. You know what I mean? It's just a V8 has to be balanced.
And something else I was wondering too is 273. That was like the smallest V8 they made. Why don't you just like put a 440 or something in this?
Well, because it's the original 273 car, and I was gonna put a 360 in it and all that kind of stuff, and then I thought, well, it's a cruiser. I'm not going racing with this thing, so I'm just gonna dress it up, make it look nice, you know. But these got adjustable rocker arms. They got solid cams right from the factory.
What, the bigger motors don't?
Huh?
The bigger motors don't have adjustable rockers and stuff like that?
No, they're hydraulic. This is the only solid cam Chrysler engine until you got to like a max wedge. Otherwise,
And when did those come out? Like, when did those come out? Like 64?
62, 63, 64, yeah. Yeah, but you're talking a race car.
And then you said there's probably that they only have like, what was it, 860?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up. Last time I looked, this is the first year for this style CUDA, and I think they made 800 convertibles.
But then you're saying the 3 on the tree drops down to like 80.
Yeah, it's got to be super rare. Yeah, it's got to be super rare. That's why I left it. But see how the shifter, it's got 2 pedals down there? It's a regular manual transmission car. And the dash needs to be redone. You know.
I don't know. I'd probably leave it like that, considering it's all or mostly original.
Yeah, yeah. You know, then they offer 2 engines in this car.
One was the Slant 6.
Besides the Slant 6, a 273, and actually you could get a 383 in one of these, a big block.
Oh, wow.
It was the first year they did that, and those are ultra rare. I had one, but I don't have it anymore.
And then what's the motor you got up here on the stand?
This is the 360 that came out of that Ram Charger, the 4-barrel engine. And the thing, I'll show you what the difference is on a 4-barrel engine to a 2-barrel. So, I take this valve cover off.
Which you so conveniently already have it unbolted.
Yeah. So if you look, it's got double springs. See the other spring inside there?
Oh, I think I do, yeah.
Yeah, so they're double springs.
Ooh.
What was that?
Probably just the posters falling off the motor back there.
Anyway, and this one being a truck motor, it's got rotators on the exhaust valves. See these things right here?
Well,
this one don't have it. This one does.
Why does
That's
that
an
have
exhaust valve. That rotates the valve really slow as it's running, so the valves won't burn. Because you got to remember, these don't have hardened seats. Well, this one does. That car there don't. They didn't come out with hardened seats till later. So actually, when you drive that car, you should put lead additive in the gas.
Even if I do, oh, actually, I don't really plan on doing the heads.
Yeah,
so.
You don't have to worry about it because you're not using 67 heads. You know, they didn't start hardening seats till I think 68 or 9.
Oh, okay.
And that's when they start taking the lead out of the gas.
Speaking of heads, I read somewhere that most people want to try and go with after 72 heads because supposedly they have higher compression, like for the 340 and 360.
Well, the best heads, of course, are the 340. They call them a J head or an X head. It's stamped like right here. It would be right there saying an X or a J.
But it's too pitted to see.
And then the 340s had bigger intake valves. They had 2.2 intake valves, where these got a smaller valve, and they got a better flow. As far as using the later heads, yeah, I don't know what to tell you there. I mean, if you find a later head and it's got a small quench chamber, you know, instead of a big chamber.
Yeah.
I can show you on the other building. I got a head off over there with the, and that raises the compression. But after 72, man, they lowered the compression like crazy.
Oh yeah, they did.
You know, because of emissions, the insurance companies shut down the muscle cars. It was a joke.
And also, the first time I was here, I saw that up on the wall. What is that off of?
That's the grill off a motorhome. I just like the way it looked. You know, like a 68 motorhome.
Like a Winnebago or something?
Yeah. But like I got that one out there. That's got a 440 in it.
Yeah.
A really good one.
Huh.
That's why it's sitting there. I'm going to yank the engine and trans out.
And either build it for yourself or sell it to someone?
Yeah.
And
some guy built that for his car. It's got 360 heads. It's got a roller timing chain, forged crank and rods. Where the 74 and up, they're all cast crank. So for racing, they're not as good. I mean, they're fine. If you were going to try and make a 10-second machine, cast crank would break.
So how did you end up with it?
It was in actually it was in a motor home. And,
Well, they tried making a race vehicle.
The motor home was trashed, but the engine was great. So then when I started looking at it, taking it apart, I go, damn, this thing's got 360 heads. It's got the double spring. I don't know if it's got rotators.
So how can you tell the 360 heads? Can you tell just when they're on the motor like this, or you have to take them off?
It's hard to tell when they're on the motor, but if you look right there, it says 360.
Oh, really?
It's like embossed. I don't know if you can see
Oh,
it.
I see something. And
Yeah.
oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah, 360. And this also has the rotators and the double spring. And then I'm like, look how clean that is. So this thing didn't run too long after he built the engine.
So you think he built it for a race car and it somehow ended up in a motorhome?
He just built it for more power. You know, you got a motorhome, a lot of guys will do this, go to a 4-barrel unless it's already got a 4-barrel, but most of them are 2-barrel, and put headers on it and stuff like that, just so a motorhome's got more power. Plus, the more power you get in a motorhome, you actually get better mileage.
Really?
Yeah, because the engine's not straining so much.
Makes sense.
If you got a 318 2-barrel, it's really straining to do 60. Where you build it up, now you're cruising, so it actually will get better mileage.
Wow. I never really thought, I figured it would use more gas since, you know, it makes more power.
It will use more gas, you got that right. I mean, when you're getting on it, you know, when you're cruising, it would be better.
Yeah, but that actually makes sense.
Yeah, because a friend of mine did that with one of them van motorhomes, you know, the van front end.
Yeah.
And he went to California and back, and he says after he put the headers and all that stuff on there, he got better mileage. Not a lot, you know. Instead of getting like 8, he was getting 12.
Which is still an improvement.
Yeah.
So you still have a lot more to your collection too, not just what's in this barn. So.
I got a whole upstairs.
Oh yeah, I never got to see that.
We can't go up there.
Oh, can't go up there. All right.
No.
But we can go out to the other barn and
Yeah, we'll go to the other barn.
see what good stuff you got out there.
Let me grab them. Well, I got the pliers in my back pocket. Okay.
All right.
Guys, a junk tire. And I got a bunch of headers laying there and there. Those are all big block.
And you're just letting them sit out here?
Well, I got to go through them, and the ones that I got holes in them, I just, you know, I say in case you need to do something like modify a header, you can cut a piece out and weld it in.
Okay.
You know, a different kind of curve or something.
Looks like someone was messing with these. They're painted white.
Well, those were actually ceramic coated.
Oh, they were?
Yeah, if you can go look at them, they got like a porcelain coating.
And that was to keep in heat, wasn't it? Or to expel heat?
I don't know.
Hi, kitty.
Probably so it wouldn't get so hot on your engine compartment.
So, what's the story with this Ram Charger?
Well, I bought it for the engine. It's in there.
Yeah.
And I'm parting it up right now. It's got a tilt wheel. Some guy wants to buy the whole dash, the wheel.
I can see why you're parting it out. It looks like...
Oh yeah, it's pretty bad. But it didn't really have a lot of miles on it, and it was still drivable. It was up in Alpena. Then I got one over there that's a 70. That's got a 400 big block in it.
Oh, jeez.
We got to pull the engine. Well, we're gonna junk the body and try and sell whatever I can off it.
Yeah.
But it's 4-wheel drive.
From what I was told, post, I don't know, 72. So after 72, the 400 was the motor you wanted to have.
It is, because it's a short stroke big block, and actually the pistons, believe it or not, are bigger than 440 pistons. If you look up the size, I mean, it's a tiny bit. It's like one's 432 and one's 434. You know, a couple thousandths bigger. But they're they make a high winding big block because it's a short stroke. It's like building a 383, but with bigger pistons.
Oh, and then you got the Sebring convertible.
Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of that.
And then also I noticed this rolling in. I didn't see it last time I was here. Is that a factory dually that they just welded?
No,
like...
actually, some guy welded. He welded those skirts on there. He was making it into a dually, but they're welded on. You can stand on those. And I'm trying to sell this. And that bed's a beautiful bed. There's no holes in it except for the welded on skirt.
Now, what year is this truck?
Now this has got a 413 in it.
Wow.
I know, and it runs.
Can we hear it? Does it run?
Oh, I can't start right now.
Oh yeah, no battery.
And this has got a Holly carve on it because most of the truck 413s came with Holly.
And is that a dry sump? Well, not dry sump oil, but what's
this
that?
thing here?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it is. I think it's like something.
Hopefully some of my comment section will say.
Well, see how this hose goes to the carburetor?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like water injection. You know, they did some of that crazy stuff way back then.
On a 413 that would make sense, but not in a truck like this.
No. Well, he was making this into a fifth wheel. It's 2-wheel drive.
So he was trying to get all the power he could get.
But it's a 1-ton truck. So he wanted to make it into a dually. He was using it for a while. And then he found a Cummins. And he said, yeah, I'd rather have a Cummins.
So what year is this truck? Like 77?
No, it's actually like 89.
And
89, yeah.
And they had dualies back in 89. Yeah, I've seen a couple of them. We got a couple around town.
If this was a factory dually, I could sell it easy. But when people come out and they look and they're like, what the fuck welded those things on there? You know?
I will say for a backyard job, they do look pretty good.
But it's actually a really nice bed. It holds water. I had to drill a hole in it to drain the water out.
Ooh, people probably won't like that.
Yeah, so it's got a Dana rear end, of course. It's a 1-ton dually. I mean, 1-ton truck.
Now the bed almost looks like it's newer than the rest of the truck.
I just took that off. A guy wants to buy this because it's rust free.
Oh, the tailgate?
Yeah, it's just got a couple little dents, but other than that, it's a nice tailgate. And the tail lights were real nice. So I'm probably gonna start parting this out.
Wonder if that dealership's still around.
Oh. What's that?
What does it say? Schaus Auto Sales, Jackson, Kentucky.
Jackson, Michigan. Oh, it is Kentucky. Oh, no wonder why the bed's so nice.
Yeah. And then that red plow truck over there, you said that's gonna be your plow truck, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just bought that. It's gonna be my plow truck for now, but I really like it. It's got a nice interior, so eventually I'd probably take the plow stuff off and put it on something old and beat up. Because I got another Ram Charger over there behind the barn with a plow on it.
Huh.
But it's really, really rusty, but it runs and drives.
And I'm guessing that one's an 89?
It's a 92.
Ah.
It starts right up because it's throttle body.
Gas or diesel? Oh, you throttle body, so gas?
Yeah, instead of a carburetor.
Do you have any more of those wheels? I'd probably be interested.
I got a whole set of those I want to sell off this.
Because those are, if anything, those might be coming back because just the design is so cool.
Yeah, and I think they're 15 by 8.
So that was pretty much everything Chrysler back then, right? 15 by 8?
No, most of them were 15 by 6, 7, 8. The cop cars had 15 by 8.
Ah.
And then, of course, some of the Magnums, some of the cars like yours, you could get 8-inch wheels on those.
Okay.
8-inch rims.
Oh yeah, I saw the stripes.
Or Midnight Express, they called them.
Yeah, the two-wheel drive was a little red, and then the four-wheel. Do you know? You probably already know, but how rare these trucks are.
Yeah, it's got the cargo box. It was pretty rusty. I was gonna restore it, but it's a lot of work. So I wouldn't mind selling this, but it's got a 318 instead of a 360. But I guess on these, if you didn't ask for a 360, you got a 318.
Huh. I never thought I'd see one of these in person.
They called it a Midnight Express or a Warlock.
Oh, okay.
I think the Warlocks might have been green.
No, they were black.
They were black? I know they made a green one too.
Because I build models, and AMT just recently re-released the Warlock kit.
Yeah.
Man, look at that. That's pinstriping you'll never see on a new vehicle.
What's that?
The pinstriping on the fender. They just don't do cool stuff like that anymore.
Oh, yeah, and you should see the tailgate on this thing. I don't know if the guy did it or if it came like that. But,
if it's anything like the fender here, it's probably factory.
Well,
oh, yeah. Oh, you weren't kidding. These floors are...
the floors are gone. He's got pinstriping here. I had to get fenders for it. They were all smashed. I got them.
Unleaded gas only.
But look at the tailgate. It's got a pad on it.
Why does it have a pad?
Isn't that weird?
That's definitely different.
I don't know if that guy put that on there, because usually it's a piece of wood.
Yeah, well, no, it would have had Dodge right there, so that's definitely... But the pinstriping, though, is really cool.
Yeah.
Dude, I might have to get this off you and restore it, because I'm pretty confident they sell the floors for this.
Oh, because this, you know, see, one thing nice about this, to restore it, you've got something worth 20 grand or more.
Oh, well, but restoring it, though, you're going to have probably that much into it.
Well, unless you do the work yourself.
Because MOPAR stuff is expensive. And then...
You know what's bad about this thing? The guy put a sunroof in it. And guys who want original Mopar do not want an aftermarket sunroof.
Well, you say that, but...
I think it's cool myself, but...
But a buddy of mine has an 89 D, I think either 150 or 250.
Right.
And it has a sunroof as well.
Well, you know, to me it wouldn't make a difference. I would love a sunroof.
Oh, yeah, they're cool.
You know, but you know, if you take it to what do you call it?
Oh, like Barrett Jackson or Mecum or something like that?
They discount it because of the sunroof, because it's aftermarket.
I don't know. I might do some research into it, but I'm pretty sure you could have got these trucks with sunroofs.
Pardon me?
I might do some research into it, but I think you could have got these trucks with sunroofs.
You could, but not the one that's in this one.
Oh, you can tell it's done aftermarket?
You can tell it's not a factory sunroof.
Yeah, let me get a flashlight out. Yeah, because like I said, my buddy's got one that has a sunroof. If it's aftermarket, it's done pretty well. And then this is where you stash most of your parts out here?
Yeah, I like if I go somewhere I can back right in and unload. That's my Ram Charger that I'm restoring. That's from Texas. And that's a Prospector.
Oh, I've heard of that trim package.
Yeah. And that's what the 360 is going to go in this one. It's got beautiful interior. See, it's a...
Oh, wow. How much does it cost to find the badging?
Prospector. You got me. Well, you can. I think they repop all that shit now. I'm not sure.
And then I didn't see.
It's got a beautiful interior, man. I mean, it ain't got a rip in the interior. It had a few rust holes because it was up here for about 15 years.
Oh.
But nothing like the floor. It just had the usual at the bottom of the fender.
Now, it having a nice interior is actually interesting because they say the north is where you get your interiors, the south is where you get the bodies.
Yeah.
Because the heat and everything just destroys them.
Right.
And then I didn't see this last time. What?
This is a '69 Mercedes-Benz.
How does someone like you end up with this?
Huh?
I mean, you're a Mopar guy, and yet you've got a German import.
This was my dad's car. He passed away. He went to Germany in '69 on vacation, and he decided to buy a new car instead of renting a car for a month. So he bought it, drove it around for a whole month over there, and had it shipped back on a ship. And when he hit New York with this car,
yeah,
he could have made $2,000 the minute it hit. They would have bought it for $2 grand more. Because, you know, you get it cheaper over there.
Oh, yeah. Because that's where they're made. You don't have to pay the import fees.
And that 69 is one of the last years they hand built them.
Oh, really? This was hand built?
Yeah. And it's got a overhead cam fuel injected 6.
Can I see the inside?
It's hard to open the door. And it's not, there's a bunch of junk in there.
Oh, okay.
But I got a bunch of fenders and stuff. I got a couple Cuda fenders, an Imperial fender. I got a pretty decent truck door, truck bumper.
I see a pair of truck doors.
Huh?
I see a pair of truck doors.
Oh yeah, a pair of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would this one be for sale?
Yeah. So the story on this is, my dad was using Rizlone. You ever hear of Rizlone?
No, I don't think I've ever heard of that.
It's an oil additive. It's real thin. You pour it in your engine, drive it for a while, and then you change the oil, right? Well, he didn't know you were supposed to change the oil. He just thought it would free up the gunk inside. I mean, it's got 60,000 miles. It didn't have any gunk. You know what I mean? So he put Rizlone in this like 3 times.
And it thinned out the oil and lost pressure?
It did, and the bearings went. So he had German motors down on 9 and Gratiot.
Yeah.
Place. They redid the engine and trans. Cost them damn near $5,000 40 years ago.
Oh, that was a lot.
Well, yeah, but then it's a Mercedes. And then he drove it for, I don't know, 2 years, and he passed away. So they were going to sell the car real cheap. And I go, what are you doing, man? He had $5,000 in the drivetrain. So why would you sell it cheap? So I put it in here, and it's sitting there. But the paperwork is in there for when they rebuilt the engine and trans.
Wow. And it looks like it's in fairly good shape too.
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's got some rough.
I'm not seeing much on the rockers or the fenders.
No, it's actually not bad. It's only been in here for 20 years. No more than that. About 30 years.
I see the cats have been walking around on it.
Yeah, all over. Yeah, I got barn cats. There's one. That's called the old man. Because if you don't have cats,
you get mice.
Oh my God! And you know what mice do?
Eat the wiring.
Not only that, but if they can get in your car, you know, say there's a rust hole in the bottom.
Yeah.
They'll go in the interior, everywhere, and you open the door and it's like, oh my! And you know, did you ever go have an old car? You open the door and it reeks profusely.
Oh yeah, and then just a little side thing. What's the story with that van over there?
Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of that thing there. It's a 2003 1-ton van, maxi van. I'm selling parts off this. It's a 09 Dodge van. And then there's my Ram Charger back there.
Another one.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there's that RV. You said you pulled that that 318 out of.
Really nice 440 in it. High compression, forged. Everything's forged. Just for the engine, and I'm gonna scrap it. And this thing here is, I believe, a 78. It's got the removable top.
Oh, and it looks like it's got a roll bar too. Is that factory?
Yeah, and it runs and drives with a plow, like $800. But it's pretty rusty.
You said 800 bucks, as in that's what it would cost to get it out of here?
Yeah, I'd sell it for $800. Got a title. It'll start up. The front tires keep going low. It's got a hydraulic pump instead of electric for the plow.
Oh, cool.
So there's like a power steering pump on the engine.
Yeah.
Yeah. A farm in Indiana.
Yeah.
It was online, and when I heard it was a Slant 6 with a 4-speed. I'm like, oh, I gotta check that out. So then it's I didn't care for the Slant 6 part. But it's got low miles, runs like a top, ain't really got any rust, but it was used as a farm truck. And it didn't even have a title. It had a farm paperwork. I had to get a title. And it's got the 6-foot, the 8-foot cargo bed, where that one's got a 6-foot, shorty. This is actually like a long bed.
Oh, I didn't know they made long bed.
Yeah, it's really rare. They called it the coffin bed, because you could fit a coffin in the back.
And then this is probably what the tailgate on the on that black one with all the pinstriping would look like if it didn't have that cushion on it.
Yeah. This is just. And this one, like I said, from Indiana. They ordered it with all heavy-duty suspension, heavy-duty 11-inch clutch. I had a yard of gravel in here, and I didn't even hit the snubbers.
Oh, jeez.
You know, which is like a ton. It runs great, but it's got the. Look at the shifter.
What kind of shifter is that?
See how it comes out in the middle of the hump?
Yeah.
So that's called a granny tranny 4-speed. It's like a truck transmission.
Why do they call it that?
So you don't use first gear on this. It's got a creeper first gear.
So is it technically a 5-speed?
No, it would be like a 3-speed.
Oh, okay.
I mean, first gear is a creeper gear. So when you take off the first gear, it's like, and you gotta shift.
That's how it was when I got my wrecker, except it's technically a 5-speed. I tried driving it in what the shift knob calls first.
Yeah.
But I couldn't keep up speed as soon as
we take off in second on these.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, I like the spotlights. Those are cool.
Yeah, and it came with a spotlight.
So I just like this truck because you almost never see these in a step side, let alone an 8-foot bed.
Yeah, yeah.
And then in here,
like I said, I had to go to a farm in Indiana to pick it up and drove it home.
And then you were telling me last time I was here, you got a couple of
thermal pods.
Yeah, or aka thermal bogs.
Thermal bog, yeah. Actually, they're pretty good carbs, and the reason they have a plastic body.
Wait, those are plastic?
Yeah, here I'll show you. So the body is black plastic. Right here. Right there. Yeah, you can see it real good there. See how it's black?
Yeah.
That's for heat. Because if this was on a big block, they used to get what do they call that?
Just warping?
A vapor lock. Because the carburetor would get too hot.
So the plastic is supposed to dispel the heat?
Yeah, exactly. So if you have one of these and it still does it, you got to put a couple spacers under it. Because they get too hot. You know. And then they had a problem on these 6-cylinders getting too hot too. So see how that's got a heat shield?
Oh, you cut the 6-cylinder. I was going to ask if you V8 swapped it yet.
That's the original engine. So see that shield under the carb?
Yeah.
Keep the heat off the carburetor.
So you plan on doing anything with this motor?
Yeah, I'm going to drive it till it dies, and I'll probably throw a V8 in it or something.
I'm going to be honest, this Slant 6 will probably outlast you.
It will. It will. So up here, it's hard to read, but it tells you it had 11-inch clutch, heavy-duty suspension.
Oh, wow.
And all that kind of.
Yeah, if there's one thing that I know for sure, it's that the Slant 6s never die.
It's destructible. Indestructible.
You'd have to like throw sawdust in the oil pan or something to kill it. So now I was told that I think it was unless I'm thinking of Chevys or GMs, you could have got these with a 4-barrel.
So this is a single barrel. They came out with a Hyper 6 that was a 2-barrel.
Okay.
With aluminum intake. I think this is still cast iron. I don't know, that's got the aluminum. But the Hyper 6 came with a 2-barrel. And then they had one they called a Hyper Pack. And that actually came with a 4-barrel. But I think that was aftermarket from a dealer.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And the intake came way over here.
Oh, jeez.
And you know, for the ram effect. And it had a 4-barrel. Now, when I worked at Chrysler's, we actually took a 6-pack and put it on a Slant 6. You know, three carburetors.
How did you guys do that?
They had a special manifold made and put the 3 carbs just to see what it would do. And I remember taking it out on Woodward and cruising around in it. And it was pretty fast for a Slant 6.
I suppose if you think about it, that's the same thing as seeing all those little British and Japanese cars with the little Webers.
Carbs. Yeah. And anyway, and of course they put a different cam, you know, honed it all, blah blah blah. And this, they actually, when they first came out with these, they had a lightweight Valiant that had all aluminum Slant 6. The whole block was aluminum.
I wonder if you can still find one of those.
Yeah, pretty rare. But I remember they had a picture in the magazine where a guy had the block over his head like this. And we're like, what the fuck? Oh, it's aluminum. No wonder why he could lift it up.
Yeah, because cast iron, you wouldn't even be able to get it off the floor.
Well, you could probably get up 4, but yeah, I wouldn't lift it overhead.
I just saw this front end looming over me from the rafters above. What's that off of?
What's that?
What's that front end off of? That's
Oh, that's 73 Imperial. The yellow one? Yeah.
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 Man, you got just about everything here.
Well, I had a really nice black Imperial. I sold it just last fall. I had that car for a long, and it was a nice cruiser. Had a 440 in it, you know.
Wow. And then what do you got here? 727?
Yeah, 727. That's a Chevy intake.
What's that doing here? That's not Chrysler.
I pick up all kinds of parts and stuff.
So pretty much if someone just needs to find parts, you're the guy to talk to?
Well, I got a friend. He lives about 6 miles from here. You know, John Geyser.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever go to his house?
I don't remember if I have or not.
He's got about 50 to 75 cars and trucks behind his house. He's got his own junkyard.
Jeez. I'll have to check him out because I've got a lot of GM stuff I need parts for.
He's got all kinds of. I'm looking at a 54 Dodge pickup that he's got. Just the body. It's pretty, but it looks cool as hell.
What are you going to put in it? A 440?
No, I would just make a rat rod.
Oh, that's cool. Put a 5.7 in it?
Put something. Well, I don't like going that route because the harness costs too much.
I'm sure you could find one for really cheap.
know.
You got resources.
Yeah, but if you use the original car harness,
Yeah.
then you got to have all the bullshit to go with it because if something's not hooked up, it's not going to start.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you remember when Monkey Garage did a Dart and they put a new Hemi in it, and they got the harness right from Chrysler's. They were just starting to make them. And he raced a Charger from, what's them guys called?
Roadkill.
Roadkill.
It was a 68 with, what did they put
It
in? I
had a
forgot.
Hemi in it too, a new one.
Oh, okay.
But they used the original car harness, so they had shit everywhere.
Yeah, they had to keep the power window and everything.
Yeah, all that crap, man, or it wouldn't start.
Yeah, because that was when...
But the only reason they lost is because the Dart was so much lighter.
And Roadkill had that much more wiring.
Yeah, 100 pounds of wiring. But anyway, and I think that's. I used to have a lot more out here, but I've been getting rid of stuff because of my age.
Yeah, well, I saw that bus when I was pulling in.
Oh yeah, well that's my son's working on that for some guy. But I used to have a couple 64 Plymouths back here, a couple early Barracudas, I had all kinds of cars here at one time. People will call me from California. Hey, do you got a bracket for something? I get all kinds of calls like that.
Oh.
And then, like I said, I do the big indoor swap meet coming up.
Mm-hmm.
You should go to that.
Oh, yeah, at the Macomb College.
Yeah, Macomb College.
I'm familiar with that place. We have
it's huge.
We have we have 2 model shows every year there.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, check that out on the channel.
Mancini will be there, and Direct Connection will be there.
Direct Connection?
2 years ago, they had Miss Mopar there signing autographs.
Who's Miss Mopar?
The old Miss Mopar. I can't remember her name. I got a poster of her next door. Or there might be one over here. And Linda Vaughn was even there one year.
Linda, that's a name that sounds familiar.
Miss Hurst? Yeah, I don't have the poster.
Oh, yeah, she was the one that was always taking pictures with the cutlasses.
Yeah, Miss Hurst.
Okay.
Yeah. But you know, they did a Hurst edition C-body in 70.
C-body. What was the C-body?
It was, like an Imperial Chrysler 300.
They made a Hurst version out of that boat?
Yeah, so they had a fiberglass hood with 2 ram scoops. It was painted gold and white, of course, said Hurst on it. And it came with a 4-speed, of course.
Wow.
And a Chrysler, a big, like a New Yorker.
Jeez.
And it was a Hurst edition.
Probably took 3 business days to hit 60.
Huh?
Probably took 3 business days to hit 60.
Well, no, it was actually pretty fast. It had a 440 TNT motor.
TNT motor?
So it was hopped up. You know.
I just looked over the, I'm going to call it a Warlock because that's the cooler one. But I'm familiar with these.
Oh, that's just an alarm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had alarm on here.
I saw a video where guys my age were looking at, I think it was like a Nova or a Corvette or something, and they saw that and they're like, what is that for? And I'm thinking to myself, I know what that is. Because on my buddy's channel, and it'll probably be on my channel too. We have a guy in Croswell with a 79 Firebird that's got one of these.
Yeah.
And the story was his dad loaned him the money to buy it, but he wouldn't do it unless he got the security system.
Well, yeah, because they still, you know, all these cars didn't have locking steering columns.
Or remote locks or car alarms.
Yeah. So they were easy to steal.
And yeah, super easy to hotwire.
Yeah. Especially when, you know, look how many wires are on this truck.
Yeah, barely any.
And then like Cuda has even got less because it's got point ignition. You know, the old point. But if you want to walk back here, I'll show you on the quench chamber I was telling you about.
How far back?
So I got a bunch of engines back here that I sell, take out of different cars and stuff. Anyway, so I got a 413 back there. I got a couple newer 3.8, you know, the Magnum 318 engine.
Quick question about the Magnum. Would the Magnum 360 upper end bolt onto my older LA motor? I was told it wouldn't.
I think it does, yeah.
Because I was told the bolt holes are different and the way the intakes are set up.
So see how this is flat right here? Right here?
Yeah.
That's called the small quench chamber. So that raises your compression. I got some heads in the other building that are like new with that. Mm-hmm. But this is a 413. Unfortunately, it's seen better days. I'm going to have to scrap it.
Aww.
But I'm taking some parts off it. The biggest problem is see how far the torque converter is from the engine? So this got an 8-volt flange, but it uses nuts and bolts. So the crank isn't threaded.
Oh.
Isn't that stupid?
Yeah.
But that's what they did back then.
And it looks like you got, what is this, a 3.8?
Yeah, that's out of a Chevy. My son put a motor on a car. And then I got a newer trans right there, four-wheel drive trans.
Ooh.
For a Dodge truck. Like I said, I got 413 back there. I had a couple 440s, but I sold them. You know, they always sell.
Yeah, but it sounds like you're definitely the guy to talk to about Mopar stuff. I see a steering column for something lying up on that motor.
Yeah, I got a couple steering. I got a tilt wheel, a telescoping wheel out of an old Imperial. A lot of hot rod guys love those. Because not only does it tilt, but it goes up and down like this.
Okay, so if you're any size, you can fit in it.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, it was good coming out here, and I'm glad to have you on the channel and show us your collection.
It's nice to be here. Maybe I'll.
Well, after getting back inside the nice warm truck, hope you guys liked the video. Remember to like and share the video so this channel grows, and subscribe and share it so other people can see it, because it might have a lot of useful information for other people. But that just goes to show, talk to the older people at the car shows, get to know them, collect numbers, because you'll never know what you might find. You might find a new project, you might find parts for your project, or you might just get to hear some cool stories. So, until the next video, see you later.